We are back in my kitchen and we're cooking once again. Today we're making vegan meatballs, our own vegan meatballs, so we don't have to go out and buy them. And we're using a very underused product that a lot of vegans used to use all the time, and I just don't see recipes anymore. It's called TVP and it's textured vegetable protein. It's very economical to use. It's great, especially anytime you're wanting to replace like a hamburger product, or especially like in chilies and stuff. This really bulks it up. It's high in protein. It's really good. And so this is what we're going to make our meatballs out of. Super simple. So to get started, a lot of it's going to be a little bit at the beginning is going to be at the stovetop. So I thought we would start here. The first thing that we're going to start with is making a flax egg. And that's super simple. We just have some ground flax meal and we just mix it with some water. We always do this about 5-10 minutes before we actually need it because we want it to gel up. And that's going to be our egg replacement. This is going to hold our meatballs together. And that's it. We're going to put that aside. The next thing we're going to do is we're just going to slice up our onion. And to start this, we're going to just saute onions and garlic, like with any other meatball recipe. Now, I know everybody probably has their own recipes. I'm going to keep this aside because this is going to go into my soup stock bag in the freezer. I just need about half of an onion. So I'm just going to turn my burner on. And we just need to dice it. I like to keep mine nice and thin. Small dice. I don't like my meatballs to have big chunks of onion. But you do what you like. And then to start, you're also going to need a couple cloves of garlic. And don't worry, guys, I'll have the recipe down below for you. And again, you're going to build it and make it your own recipe anyway. You know, my recipes are just kind of what I like, but I don't know what you like, so you're going to put what you like in yours. We're just going to add a little bit of water to saute our onions, since we're not using oil. And we just want to soften our onions up. I'm going to add in our garlic. So we're just cooking our onions till they're translucent and softened. Nobody wants raw onions in there. We also want to cook down our garlic. You don't want to bite of raw garlic either. While that's cooking, I'll just show you the TVP. It's super simple. It just looks like brown granules. Doesn't have a smell. Pretty neutral, so it absorbs kind of whatever flavor that you're going with. And to hydrate, it's usually 1 to 1. So if you're using a cup of TVP, you're going to use a cup of broth, water, whatever you're doing. This is great in chili. It's always adding extra protein. It bulks everything up. It's great to make like loose meat sandwiches. sloppy joes. Add a little bit more water. I want to make sure my onions are nicely cooked. So we're going to use about a cup of TVP. We're going to add that to our mixture. We're going to add about a cup of water. And then as you stir it, you may notice that you may need more water. It might look like it's really loose. It takes a few minutes for it to absorb, so don't panic. Now while that is absorbing, I'm going to get some of the rest of our ingredients, which is some ketchup and some soy sauce. Add that in. We have our spices, which will be, again, recipe will be down below, but we're using Italian seasoning. A little bit of clove, a little bit of thyme. I'm adding some fennel. I love fennel. Take it off the heat. Put that in. I'm going to also add a little bit of, about a teaspoon of mustard. Just for a little bit of acid. And about a teaspoon of sriracha or hot sauce. Again, just to add a little extra flavor, a little oomph. Little background nuances to it. And again, the TVP has no flavor whatsoever, so we need to really zhuzh it up. And again, now it just looks like ground beef. We're going to take it off the heat. And we need to move to our mixing bowl. Now we're just going to mix everything together. So let's get our TVP into our mixing bowl. And then we're going to add about 2 tablespoons of nutritional yeast. About a half a cup of vital wheat gluten, and then our flax egg. And then you're going to want to get in there and get this all mixed together. And there you go. You have your mixture. Now you can scoop whatever size scoops you want. Just make sure you're obviously using the same size because they're going to cook at the same. And just roll them. And then you're just going to roll them all up. And you're going to bake them for 20 minutes. And then flip them and bake them for another 20 minutes. So a total of 40 minutes of baking time. But again, check them depending on how big you make your meatballs. You don't want them to dry out. I would think the smaller ones like this would probably be maybe 15 and 15. These freeze really well. Use them in sandwiches, spaghetti and meatballs. So our meatballs are out of the oven, just gonna let them cool. So you could add these to a marinara sauce, a gravy, a cheese sauce. I'm gonna throw them in, I'll show you, I'll attach a little bit of a picture that I put them into a cheesy mac and cheese kind of dish. They were delicious in them, they're light and fluffy. I would make extra if you have a big family. I would double, triple this batch because they are great in the freezer. And you're going to want them over and over again. Again, very economical, guys. Hope you've enjoyed this video, and we'll see you in the next one.